The world of music was shaken to its core when Glenn Frey, the legendary Eagles guitarist, passed away. Amidst the global outpouring of grief, all eyes turned to Don Henley, his longtime bandmate, whose response was keenly awaited. After Glenn Frey's death, Don Henley breaks his silence. Leaving the world shocked, he uncovered the profound impact and the unexpected truths that emerged in the wake of a music icon's passing.
Two good mates, Don Henley and Glenn Frey, and they made unforgettable music. Hotel California, Take It to the Limit, one of these nights. For 45 years, through bust-ups and reunions, their friendship survived. But earlier this year, the remarkable partnership ended tragically.
Our stars in the southern sky.
We have a really good working relationship now. I'm very happy with the way things are going in the Eagles since we got back together, and in particular in the last 5 or 6 years.
Glenn Frey was more than just a musician, he was the heartbeat of the Eagles. With his unique blend of rock and country, Frey helped shape the sound that would define a generation. From the early days in the 1970s, he stood out not just as a performer, but as a songwriter who crafted some of the band's most memorable hits. Songs like Take It Easy, Lion Eyes, and Tequila Sunrise bore his signature style, combining storytelling with melodies that resonated with millions. Frey's role in the Eagles went beyond his vocal and guitar skills. He was also a creative force who pushed the band to explore new sounds and themes. His partnership with Don Henley, another core member, resulted in a series of timeless hits that dominated the charts. Together, they created Hotel California, a song that became an anthem for rock fans worldwide. The track's haunting lyrics and unforgettable guitar solos reflected Frey's ability to capture the spirit of an era marked by change and turmoil. But Glenn Frey was not just a member of a band. He was a pioneer who left an indelible mark on the music industry. He played a key role in merging rock with other genres, creating a unique sound that appealed to a broad audience. His ability to connect with listeners was evident in the way he performed, always with passion, always with a sense of authenticity. Frey's music spoke to the heart, and it still does today, years after his passing. Frey's influence extended beyond his work with the Eagles. As a solo artist, he continued to deliver hits, showcasing his versatility and deep understanding of music. Tracks like The Heat Is On and You Belong to the City became staples on the radio and solidified his status as a solo star. He also ventured into acting, showing his creative range. Glenn Frey's legacy is one of innovation, passion, and artistry. His contributions helped define the Eagles as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. His songs still play on airwaves, reminding us of his incredible talent and the joy he brought to millions. Yet, behind every great artist is a story, and behind Frey was his deep bond with Don Henley. But what did Don Henley have to say about losing his longtime friend and bandmate? Glenn Frey and Don Henley were not just bandmates. They were the driving force behind the Eagles' success. Their friendship began in the early 1970s, and from the start, it was clear they shared a special connection. Both had a deep love for music, a passion that drew them together. They quickly realized their combined talents could create something extraordinary. Together, they formed a powerful creative duo, with Frey often handling the melodies and Henley contributing his poetic lyrics. They co-wrote many of the Eagles' greatest hits, crafting songs that spoke to the heart of a generation. Their shared vision led to the creation of albums that defined the era, such as Desperado and One of These Nights. Their relationship wasn't just about music, it was a brotherhood. They leaned on each other through the highs and lows, From the stress of touring to the tension of recording sessions, they navigated the complexities of fame together, often finding comfort in their shared experiences. Over time, they became known as the power duo of the Eagles. Their creative differences, while sometimes intense, often led to a unique synergy that resulted in some of the band's most memorable songs. Their mutual respect and understanding allowed them to push each other creatively, always striving for excellence. But their bond went beyond the music studio. They were true friends, supporting each other in their personal lives. Whether it was celebrating successes or facing hardships, Frey and Henley always had each other's backs. Their friendship was a constant, even when the band took a long hiatus in the 1980s. During this period, both men pursued solo careers, but remained in touch, always sharing a mutual admiration for each other's work. The relationship between Frey and Henley was central to the Eagles' story. It was their unique chemistry that helped the band achieve its iconic status. They knew how to complement each other's strengths and fill in the gaps where needed. Frey's ambitious spirit and Henley's reflective nature created a perfect balance that shaped the band's sound and direction. Their bond was strong, but what happened after Glenn's passing? When news broke of Glenn Frey's passing on January 18, 2016, the music world was struck with grief. Fans around the globe felt a deep loss, knowing that the man behind so many beloved songs was gone. Tributes began pouring in from every corner, from radio stations playing Eagles' classics to fans sharing their favorite memories of Glenn online. His songs had been the soundtrack of so many lives, and his death left a void that was hard to fill. Fellow musicians were quick to honor Glenn's legacy. Bob Seger, a longtime friend and collaborator, spoke with heartfelt emotion about their years together. "I knew Glenn for 50 years, he shared, and he was like a brother to me." Other artists, from Fleetwood Mac's Stevie Nicks to Bruce Springsteen, paid tribute to his talent and his impact on their careers. Many shared stories of his generosity, his kindness, and his fierce dedication to his craft. The Eagles fans, both old and new, felt the loss deeply. For many, Glenn's music had been a companion through life's most significant moments. Social media was flooded with messages from people sharing how much his songs meant to them. Concerts were held in his memory, and artists performed his hits, each putting their spin on Glenn's timeless creations. Everywhere, there was a sense of mourning, a collective grief that spanned generations. Yet, amid all the tributes and memorials, one voice was noticeably absent: Don Henley. Fans waited to hear from the man who had been closest to Glenn throughout his life and career. They wanted to know how Henley was coping and what he had to say about the friend who had been his partner in both music and life. But Henley remained silent, choosing to grieve privately. This silence only added to the weight of Glenn's passing. People wondered what was going through Henley's mind. Why wasn't he speaking out? Was he too devastated to comment? Or was there something more to his quietude? As days turned into weeks, the anticipation grew. Henley's silence became a focal point, a question hanging in the air, unspoken but deeply felt. As the world mourned, Henley's silence grew louder. As days passed after Glenn Frey's death, Don Henley's silence became the center of attention. Many wondered why the man who had shared the stage with Frey for decades had not yet spoken. The longer Henley remained quiet, the more speculation began to grow. Some thought he was simply too heartbroken to face the public, while others believed there could be deeper reasons for his quietness. Fans and media outlets started filling the void with their theories. Some suggested that Henley's silence might have been a way to protect his own emotions, keeping his grief private and away from the spotlight. Others speculated that perhaps there was tension between the two before Glenn's passing. Questions about their final days together, possible disagreements, or unresolved issues began to surface in conversations everywhere. Some even wondered if Henley was struggling with feelings of guilt or regret. The bond between him and Frey had been both deep and complex, filled with both collaboration and conflict. Was there something left unsaid between them that weighed on Henley's heart? The whispers and questions only grew louder as the days went by without a statement. Meanwhile, some close to Henley believed his silence was a sign of respect. Henley was known for his thoughtful and deliberate nature. He wasn't one to rush into public statements. To him, perhaps, silence was a way to honor his friend, allowing time for reflection before saying anything publicly. In his eyes, speaking too soon might have felt insincere or not worthy of the friendship they had built over so many years. However, the longer Henley remained quiet, the more the rumors spread. Fans were left to guess and gossip, and the media thrived on the mystery surrounding his silence. Some believed Henley was waiting for the right moment to speak, while others felt he was simply overwhelmed by the loss. In the absence of clarity, people began to ask more questions than ever. Did Henley blame himself for any part of what happened? Was he planning a significant statement that would surprise everyone? Or was he simply trying to process his grief in his way, far from the cameras and microphones? What could Henley possibly say after all this time? After weeks of silence, Don Henley finally broke his silence about the loss of Glenn Frey. When he released his statement, it was clear that the words were chosen with care and came from a place of deep emotion. Henley described Glenn as his brother and expressed the profound sorrow he felt over his passing. He acknowledged the complexities of their relationship, the ups and downs, but made it clear that their bond had remained strong until the end. Henley's words were raw and heartfelt. He talked about the years they had spent together, building something that neither of them could have achieved alone. He called Glenn the spark plug of the band, the one who brought energy and ideas that pushed them all forward. There was an unmistakable tone of gratitude in his statement, a recognition of what they had created together, and how Glenn had been a crucial part of it. He spoke of their journey, from their humble beginnings to becoming one of the biggest bands in rock history. Henley shared that even with their differences and challenges, he always had great admiration and respect for Frey's talent, drive, and passion for music. He mentioned the laughter, the arguments, the moments that had defined their friendship over the decades. Each word seemed to carry the weight of those years, filled with memories both sweet and bittersweet. But Henley's statement wasn't just about remembering the past. It was also a call for fans to keep Glenn's spirit alive through his music. He emphasized that the songs they created together would continue to be played and cherished by generations to come. He thanked the fans for their support and for being part of the Eagles' journey, a journey that was shaped by Glenn's vision and drive. The emotional impact of Henley's words was immediate. Fans around the world felt his pain and his pride. His tribute to Frey was more than just a farewell. It was a heartfelt acknowledgement of their shared legacy and the profound loss of a friend who had been a part of his life for so long. But there was more to his statement than just grief. Don Henley's statement about Glenn Frey was more than just a tribute. It was a window into the depth of their relationship. His words revealed the complexity of their bond, marked by both creative tension and deep friendship. Henley didn't shy away from admitting the challenges they faced, but he made it clear that those moments only strengthened their connection over the years. The honesty in Henley's statement was what shocked many. He spoke openly about their differences, acknowledging that their relationship was never perfect. Yet, he emphasized that these differences were part of what made their partnership so dynamic. By doing so, Henley dispelled any lingering rumors of unresolved conflict, making it known that he held no grudges, only gratitude and respect for the time they had shared. Henley's words also carried a sense of closure. He expressed a kind of peace, a recognition that while Glenn was gone, the impact of his life and music would never fade. This resonated deeply with fans, who saw in his statement a reflection of their feelings of loss. Henley managed to capture the shared grief of millions while also celebrating the joy and creativity that Glenn brought to the world. The statement also shed light on the bond that had driven the Eagles to greatness. Henley called Glenn the engine of the band, acknowledging how much he had relied on his partner's energy and ideas. This admission surprised many, as it showed just how much Frey's presence had meant, not only to the music they created, but to Henley personally. What shocked the world most was Henley's admission of vulnerability. He spoke from the heart, sharing his pain and the weight of losing someone so significant in his life. This was a rare glimpse into the guarded world of a rock legend, making the statement all the more powerful. His words created a wave of empathy, connecting him even more deeply with his fans. Henley's words were powerful. But what did they mean for the Eagles? With Glenn Frey gone, many questioned if the Eagles could continue without one of their key founders. Frey had been the heart of the band's creative force, shaping its unique sound and driving its remarkable success. For some, it felt like the band's story might come to a close. Fans and critics alike speculated that this could mark the end of the Eagles, leaving their legacy untouched and complete. However, Henley's words hinted at something different. In his tribute, he spoke about the songs that would continue to live on and the importance of keeping Glenn's spirit alive. This gave fans hope that the Eagles might not be finished. Henley understood that the music they created together had a life beyond any one person, even someone as pivotal as Frey. Soon after, the band announced they would continue performing, much to the relief and excitement of their followers. Henley made it clear that the decision wasn't taken lightly. It was driven by a desire to honor Glenn's memory and to keep the music alive for their fans. He wanted to celebrate what they had achieved together, not just mourn what was lost. The band chose to bring in Deacon Frey, Glenn's son, and Vince Gill, a longtime friend and celebrated musician, to fill the void left by Glenn. This move was both respectful and meaningful. Deacon's inclusion allowed Glenn's spirit to remain a part of the Eagles, while Vince's talent and experience added a new dynamic to their performances. It was a way of saying that while Glenn could never be replaced, his influence would always be there. Henley's statement helped shape this decision. His emphasis on the enduring power of their music reassured fans that the Eagles were not just moving forward, but doing so with a purpose. They weren't just playing the old hits. They were keeping Glenn's legacy alive in every note. The songs carried a new weight, a sense of tribute to the man who had helped create them. As the Eagles move forward, what legacy does Frey leave behind? Glenn Frey's legacy will always be remembered, not just by fans of the Eagles, but by anyone who loves music. His contributions as a songwriter, musician, and performer helped shape the sound of a generation. The songs he created with the Eagles have become timeless, echoing through the years and touching the lives of millions. From Take It Easy to Hotel California, his music remains a part of our culture. Don Henley's commitment to keeping Glenn's memory alive has been a central part of the Eagles' journey since his passing. Henley knew that Glenn was more than just a bandmate. He was a creative partner and a close friend. To Henley, carrying on the band's legacy meant honoring that relationship and ensuring that Glenn's contributions were never forgotten. By bringing Glenn's son, Deacon, into the fold, Henley made sure that Glenn's spirit continued to be a part of every performance. Deacon's presence on stage is a living tribute to his father, and his performances have brought a new energy to the band's music. Vince Gill, with his rich musical history, complements this dynamic, helping to keep the Eagles' sound both familiar and fresh. Henley has often spoken about how important it is to keep playing the music, not just for themselves, but for the fans who have supported them for decades. He believes that Glenn's songs have a life of their own, and that as long as they are played, Glenn's spirit will remain alive. Henley's dedication to preserving their shared legacy has been evident in every decision the band has made since Glenn's passing. Glenn Frey's legacy is more than just the music he left behind. It is also the way he lived his life with passion, determination, and a commitment to his craft. Henley's role in preserving that legacy is a testament to their deep bond and to the belief that Glenn's impact on music and culture will continue to resonate for years to come. Don Henley's words after Glenn Frey's death were more than just a farewell. They were a promise to keep Glenn's legacy alive. Through every performance and every song, Henley ensures that Glenn's spirit continues to shine. If you found this story as touching as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore our other videos about the legendary figures who have shaped the world of music.